We mentioned in the past that backlinks are the currency for ranking in search engine optimization. And when it comes down to backlinking, there are some rules that you need to observe in order for those backlinks to be as effective as possible so that you get most traction from Google, that you're not penalizing your site. You can actually penalize your site if you're doing things improperly. So out here we're going to be talking about those specific rules. Right now I am on WordPress.com. Specifically, I'm in a subdomain called automechanic.wordpress.com. This is a website that's been set up by folks that created this content out here in order to get backlinks to their site. Now, this is one of the strategies that you should be doing. Whenever you create any sort of a content, you should distribute it to various blogs that are being hosted by WordPress.com, Blogger, and so on and so forth. And when you're creating those blog posts, what you want to do is link back to your site within the actual content of the blog post, like we have right here. Here's the link. You can tell that I've actually been to this link because it's a different color. But you can actually create a link within the content of the posts, as opposed to having it in some sort of a resources section. And I'm about to show you that in a second. But on blogs, you're creating those links right there. And when you're doing that, what you want to do is you want to try and use the keywords that you're trying to rank the landing page for. So the landing page for this specific one is going to be the one that I'm going to click on right now. So if I click on cheap auto insurance, I'm going to end up on a site called cheapautoinsurance.org. Obviously, they are trying to rank this site for cheap auto insurance. How do I know that? Well, that's the name of the website, and that's the keyword that is embedded within the actual blog post. So that's rule number one. Rule number two, when it comes down to these, is that you also want to vary that over time. As you're adding more posts, as you're adding more content, you don't always want to use the same keyword. You want to use the semantically related keyword, anything that's topically related to what this site is about. Okay, so you would have the on-page optimization obviously taken care of, but then off-page optimization is exactly that. Vary the keywords, and it's very important not to always link with that. You want to use also keywords that are not keywords at all. Things like click here, or even the URL of your site. So it would say http://www.cheapautoinsurance.org or whatever the website was. It's gonna close it. So you want to do that. Now, I know that there's going to be some people out there that will flat out disagree with me, but guess what? They are wrong. That's the best way I can put it. Here's the thing. Google has started paying attention to the ratio of the links that use the keywords within them as opposed to the words like click here and the actual URLs of the website. Why? Because Google understands that websites that are valuable will naturally grow backlinks in a natural way, which means other people other than you, will post links back to your site. And when they do, most people are not going to be using a keyword. In fact, they're going to be using something like click here or the actual URL of the website because they don't know SEO. Therefore, not having any of those links tells Google flat out that all of the links that you have created were created by you for the purposes of gaming the system, and therefore you will suffer a penalty. So it's a good idea to insert some of those words in the actual anchor text. Rule number 3. When creating articles, you can't use the rule number 1, meaning you can't put the actual anchor text within the content of the site, and you can't use anchor text like I just showed you. Why? Because a lot of article directories will actually not allow you to post an article like that, especially the good ones like easy articles, for example. So where do you place a link? You have a little about you section or about the author section, and in there you can put a link back to your site. And here's an example of actually using an http://www, the actual URL of the website, as a backlink. This is good practice. Okay, so you might want to do that when you're posting stuff in here. Now, some of these sites will allow you to actually put in the keyword within there. If you can do that, that's awesome. Do it, but don't always do the same thing. Vary things a little bit. When it comes down to press releases, the similar rules will apply. Some will allow you to embed links within the actual content like this one, some won't. But the best way to go about it to ensure that you're always going to be relevant and that you're not going to be turned down, if in doubt, you can always check out the actual press release website and see if other people are doing that. If they're doing it, then you know you will be able to do the same thing. But typically, you have a media contact type of a section within each and every press release that you create, so that you can post a link back to your site. And when it comes down to creating media content, contact information, you want to put as much information as you can leading back to you or the site where the person can be contacted at. So the phone number, the fax, the address, the name, the email, all that, the whole enchilada, and here is the link leading back to a site. Another rule is a link variety when it comes down to different types of domains. This one is an edu website. Okay, so it's .edu. .edu and .gov websites are the websites that you basically can't own unless you are a government institution or have a brick and mortar educational institution. Now Google knows this, and for that specific reason it understands that when links are created to these websites, they're typically more valuable links because not anybody can post links from the sites like that. And so the strategy for backlinking from those sites would be to find websites where you can post comments and create some sort of a comment and link back to your site. So you're noticing that all of these people out here that are commenting, their names are underlined and they're leading to some websites. So Carla right here goes to travel. You can see that in the bottom left corner when I hover over that. It says travelnurseemployment.org. Okay. So the strategy out here would be to read the content of the blog post and then come down to the point where you can post a comment, and then you put in your name, your email address, and the URL. Whatever URL you put in here is going to be typically appended to the name that you use as the anchor text, and then you provide a comment. Don't spam blogs. Make sure you read the actual content of the blog post and make sure you're relevant to it. If you're just posting comments that sound spammy, that are like, oh, this is a great content, and don't really quote anything or don't say anything specific to this, you're not likely going to have much of a stick rate, meaning your comment will be moderated out of the blog and you're not going to get that link. If you do not have the URL, you could create a comment in there, but what you want to do within the comment in that specific case is just basically leave the URL of the site if it's relevant to what the blog post was talking about, if it adds value. Some blogs will automatically convert the actual address. So if I were to put in http://www yada yada yada, some websites will actually recognize that's a link and turn it into a link. Others won't. Regardless whether they do or don't, once Google sees the actual URL in there, it's going to recognize it is a URL itself and is going to give you at least a citation credit. So there's no bad thing in it. However, if you're doing it just to kind of get a little bit of a spammy backlink or credit like that, and do not end up providing enough value on the landing page of that site, the moderator of the blog will remove your comment because they will see exactly what it is that you're trying to do. There's a couple of ways to get the backlinks from edu and .gov sites. And the easy way to get some .edu and .gov backlinks is to buy them. Fiverr is a good place to go. You can also get people that are do backlinking on Odesk as well and get some .edu and .gov backlinks. Just come out here. What this website is, it's just basically people that are offering different services for $5 each. So we're just going to be looking for providers that are doing .edu or .gov. So I'm just going to type in .gov and see what comes up. This guy will professionally create 15 .gov backlinks to your website in profiles and yada yada yada. Let's click on that and take a look at that. Okay. Gig rating is 0. That's not a good spot to start out. Let's grab some of the other ones out here. This guy, and this guy. And let's take a look at them. Gig rating 100%. Let's see how many people. 92 people have actually liked this service. Okay, that's a good sign. That's an excellent sign. Okay, so he delivers or she delivers. So you could just click on order now, and you would type in your email. You would log in here. It's going to ask you for the basic information about the service that you're getting. Like you would provide them with the link to where you want it linked in, and bang, you're done. It literally takes 5 minutes to do this. So I might actually go with this guy out here. I don't even have to check the rest of the guys, but here's another one with 100%. Okay, only 7 buyers, so that's not much of a track record out here. 19 buyers, a little better out here, but again, it's 100%, so it's not too bad. There is quite a bit of choices out there, and I could have opened them up more.